Welcome everyone to November Steam Replies video, where we have a lot to go over, so let's just jump straight into the video. Make sure to subscribe and like the video. So, the first reply was on 2nd of November, when someone asked, "Hi Seiko, will staying as prop as I know. I don't know why player is not allowed to drive it. Optimization reasons, there is only so many drivable cars that can be in the game. So whenever possible I try to replace them with different cars so that players have more things to experience." The second reply on this date was, "Will there be lowered suspension / cut spring? Yes. Will there be drift steering, more steering angle? It is technically possible, but it would only make sense for steering wheel players, so I'm not sure whether to implement it or not. But yeah, there could be quicker and slower ratio steering rack. Can we drift the rivet? Is it easy / possible to drift the rivet on keyboard? Yes, but it is not the most balanced vehicle for that job." Then on 8th of November we have, "In Moped we are literally sitting on the engine. It might be a way to hit our ass when we sit on it, but maybe this is wrong, because I never used a moped and it doesn't snow in winter in my city. As from personal experience, it does not help at all. So yes, you will get cold faster without proper clothing when running around in a moped." Then on 10th of November we have, "Important control fix for players without a number pad. First of all, thank you for the incredible work on my winter car. We are all waiting for the release. I'm writing to suggest a crucial improvement for the game's accessibility. Many players today use compact keyboard, 75%, 60% TKL layout, that do not have a number pad. In my summer car, action like dialing phone numbers or TV channels require the number pad. If this control scheme is carried over to MWC, it will create an eliminated barrier for a large portion of the audience. I propose two solutions. Modifier key allow us to dial numbers by holding a key like Shift or Alt and pressing the number key on the top row. Input mode. Assign a key, F11, to toggle a number input mode. While active, the top row number keys would be used exclusively for dialing. I can look into this, but you can also dial the numbers with mouse, although it is slower method. But thanks for letting me know. Should be work with alpha keys as well at some point." Then on the 12th of November, "Something big may be coming. The news is currently at the 404 screen. It is either minor maintenance or a possible MW thing. Let's hope for the second. There seems to be the 404 error quite often. It is something server side. Not sure why. It is the simplest thing. GIFU replacement / blown engine event. I think it was said that the GIFU would be eventually replaced with a new logging job. So I have a suggestion. Make a randomized but guaranteed event where the engine blows on the GIFU, locking the players out of the sewage job, forcing them to do the logging job later in the game. Basically have the GIFU as early game mode, but then swap sometime midway to the new job. There is no plans yet to replace the GIFU. It might be something that happens during early access, but not sure." Going to 14th of November we have, "In the picture of rivet up on a car jack, it can be seen the rivet has a black Winley roof. We will be able to change the color of the Winley roof to colors such as tan, cream, maroon or other color, or even remove the Winley roof entirely to make it a body colored hardtop. Well, at least currently, you can only order a Winley remover at Flettari. The color can be changed, but maybe I'm able to add so that it can be spray painted or replaced at Flettari's to some other original factory color. So if you absolutely need a certain color Winley roof, you just need to hope that the Codis you buy has it." Going to the 14th of November, "Pretty sure there should be some difference apart a non-visible difference in cars that are 1974 or lower. Will be able to be registered as museum car. Benefits is it gives longer inspection intervals. Cons is that when you go to get the car inspected, it must be exactly how it says on the wing. Yeah, I've been thinking this lately. Maybe I should reconsidering wearing away from some real world restrictions and allow the museum registration for every production year of this car. Maybe it is too inconvenient for the player that register is disallowed right from the beginning depending on the RNG of the save." And again on the 14th of November we have, "Wait, will there be multiple Codis example you can possibly buy? Will they refresh for more if you don't buy with X amount of time? No, there is only one car in the game and it is generated when you start the save. If you don't like it, your only option is to start a new save." So we are on half of November Steam Replies. If you could, I would really appreciate it if you can like the video and subscribe. Have you already decided whether you keep the half AI songs or get rid of them? People have a lot of opinions about AI in everything and whether is it a good or a bad thing. In my option, you should keep the half AI music, cause more thing on the radio the better. I would rather have 20 real songs and 10 AI songs just for there to be more things to listen to. I feel like it'd be cooler if real bands made covers for the AI song. you would lost almost all the original purpose when doing a proper cover. It is not about AI-generated compositions, it is more about how AI eliminates the sound of vintage studio technology that is the most essential part of the whole old music. It is basically impossible to reproduce unless one operates with similar hardware. I don't think there are any of such creators in Finland. Sounds intriguing. It provides that the Win system is meticulously designed down to the last detail. Thanks for the reply, Jonathan. It is, and it was great fun to design and choose option packages for the different trim levels. But in the end, the Win plate is as important as you want to make it. Basically, any original part you attach to the car will able to pass the inspection. So there are no restrictions how you obey the Win or not. Hey TG, is there any placeholders where you stream the game to us? I mean, Sorbet starter sound was set Suma sound as placeholder and you change that later. We've seen something like main menu and def mute are same as MSC. So is there any more things will you change after then you showed us? Some things will stay the same, not everything needs a change. Fletari expanded services. What if you could take the rivet to Fletari and pay a small fee to have him inspected and diagnose any issues or part wear? I think that would be a lot away from the challenge of having to diagnose the car issues by the player. It is technically possible to make such check, but I don't think it is a good addition. What do you think? What will be the most annoying thing or activity in MWC? The electricity bill. Even more dumb question. Number 1. Bit of a repeated question, but is the possibility of removing the pistons through the bottom of the engine without needing to remove the engine head still being considered/planned? I don't remember right now how the logic went. I need to test. Can we enter the job slightly drunk, like 2 to 3 beers before getting to work? Or does your boss have a magic ability to tell you you're even a little drunk and you will get in trouble? Yes, but the job becomes very difficult when drunk, and not being able to do it might be considering slacking. Will we have the ability to move the battery to the trunk to put more weight on the back without increasing the total weight? Even if we have the sandbags, I think it would still be a nice addition and wouldn't hurt anything apart from slightly more developed type. Maybe make it not pass inspection as a sort of nerf, so we have the inconvenience of having to put it in the front before every inspection. Not at this point. It would require all sorts of difficulties with rerouting the wiring. Another repeat question, but I remember you saying way back in like 22-23 that we will be able to heat up the rivet engine by putting a grill below it. It is implemented, or have you given up on it? It is not additive. Okay. And yet another repeat question. Will we be able to cook food on Rivet's engine? Yes. Two simple questions for Topless Gun. How is the unfinished progress going? Are you somewhat in the finished stage? Well, I don't know. I would like to release finished game, but this is not finished game. Audio department in some important areas is still missing. I might just need to remove such features from the release and add them when they are done. Or then I just release the game free starting 1.1 and not worry a thing. Did you calculate how much time you have for the Steam page so you can make it in time before 2026, even with Steam delaying the page for 1 month? Or maybe you made the Steam page already and just set it to private. I hope you answered TG. I admire your work. Store page is almost ready. It is missing only screenshots and trading card related things, but I am still unsure how Steam handles the release scheduling. It is very confusing to me, at least. If the game is somehow delayed and released in 2026 and released for free, will you still update and work on the game normal, or will the game be abandoned because of that? I was thinking this other day, I would release it free as it stands at that point. I guess you could consider it an unlimited demo or something. It would be distributed as a demo through Steam, or then I separate download from my website. But that is not important. I cannot include it with MSC installation, which was the original idea, as it most likely conflicts with Valve TO. Now, then, depending on the feedback, I might continue working on it, and then I would put it back to Steam as proper purchasable release. Player can decide if he keeps playing with the free version that does not receive updates, or then buy into the actual release that gets updated and fixes. The point is that beginning of 2026 people will get something. Back when MSC was not yet released, I think I never even intended to release it properly. I was just making it for myself. I might thought of how it would feel like to release a game, but seriously I was not probably going to do it in the end. But then the unfortunate leak happened and people around the world were playing a very unfinished and broken mess. I did not have any other option than trying to fix a somewhat proper version of it and release it officially, just so that people were able to get what they wanted from an official safe source. Now with MWC MWC, I'm basically in the same position as 10 years ago. I like working on a game, but I do not like releasing a game. It is way too scary and overwhelming thought still. I'm just trying to figure a way to get out from that situation. And if I'm not actually forcing myself to release it, it would probably never get released. I would like the game to be perfect when it comes out, but that is probably impossible. The name of Chorus Rivet in the Unity, I would like to ask the name of Chorus Rivet in the Unity to create a pre-mod for Chorus in MWC. Could you please tell? Just Chorus. I've renamed since. Okay. Welcome. My winter car store page and dedicated community is online. Please direct your discussions about MWC to the dedicated community. I will archive this discussion aboard starting now. Have fun everyone. About streaming on Twitch. Hi Topless, I have a question. Will there be a stream on Twitch again? Will you be playing it? Yes, next week, hopefully already on Monday. Will it be like a playthrough or a development? Development most likely. I have some interesting things on the to-do list where viewers have possibility to give good and bad ideas. Is AI staying for a full release? Part of what made MSC special were the radio commercials, the music and a lot of specific textures used. I hope a lot of the AI generated assets got replaced later on in development. They can be replaced as there is no replacement, but they can be removed. But I rather not removed any required/important content. Here is specific rundown of the AI used in the game. One TV program that has 2 episodes, around 5 min length. Images and speech is AI, but written, edited and music compositions by human. One TV commercial 10 seconds in length. Paintings on the house walls, same as in MS. Food pictures/textures, around 12 separated pieces. Carbon fiber, finish, texture. But this is definitely not important, so it can be removed. And then maybe half in minutes of the music on the radio, generated by AI and lyrics written by humans, except for one instrumental song. These can be removed, apart from one song that is part of the game feature, but there is no replacement. Let's just say that without them, the radio experience is rather interesting. 90% talk shows, 9% advert, 1% music. Well, there is more music than 1%, but when I need to resort to my own stuff from early and then finish public domain music, the combination of all, that is something you don't hear even in Yarvi radio. I've seen that the game looks graphically like MSC and MSC has a GTX 1070 as a good pick. And will the, for example, 1650 able to run it kinda smooth? And will there be big graphical changes? No, I just base the specs on the computer hardware I play MWC. The minimum spec is which used for playing the game, and recommended spec is which I use to develop the game. With the minimum specs, you will hit 60 FPS constant. Topless gun. If I run May Winter on a GTX 1650 at minimum settings, will I get a stable 60 FPS and a nice picture? Thanks for answer. I'm sorry, I don't know how to compare 1650 with what I have, but if you can run MSC well, you should not have issues with this either. But MWC uses more RAM memory than MSC, so make sure you have that. Topless gun, is the amount of RAM high because the game has many parts? Yes, because they are created dynamically and there is no limit on how many parts you can have, apart from what your computer can handle. Similar to the MSC user radio, but as a new TV channel would be nice. Not natively, but I guess would be possible through modding. I would think that it would be at least very easy to replace the video and audio assets with something else. Why is the early X price the same as at launch? Shouldn't it be a bit lower? It will be bundled with MSC, so that if you already own it, you get around 30% discount, which makes it about $10 or euros. Also, if you do not own either of the games and buy the bundle, you get the same discount as well. Now the issue is that whenever the game comes out, I would somehow need to make sure that the bundle goes live at the same time. It cannot be released before the game. Tire grip challenge. During the Rivet stream, you said how you were considering increasing the tire grip. My question is simple. Will the tire grip be increased or stay the same? There is now a grip helper if you use digital control steering help. It makes the driving a lot easier, but I need to still find out a sweet spot for how much of the effect is present. I also changed the tire properties overall for Chorus, so it is different and better for steering wheel users also. Other cars do not necessarily need the help as they are better handling winter cars to begin with. Salt spread. I'm wondering if Topless has added or has plans to add a salt spreader to add additional grip to the garage/road. Could be cool as a vehicle too on the highway. I like the idea. They would first need to figure out a dynamic grip properties, at least for the highway surface, but I really would like to have something like this, a good object of experiment for the early act. Curb fillers. Can we get curb fillers on our ribbon? I'm going to try to make the most old man build. For almost 10 years, this has to be the first time someone suggests curb fillers. Those were all the Steam replies in November. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if you got any new information.